In this video, we learn how. Hello, race fans. This is Larry Supermouth Huffman, AMA Hall of Fame announcer. And this isn't Supercross, it's Wednesday! And you're watching Bay Fishing with Roman and Brian. Stand by while the boys teach secrets of bay bass fishing with Roman on his 6-second nitro-burning pedal drive kayak. And Brian in his Cool Baits high-speed dragster boat that he takes out every Sunday! Be there!
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Fishy Hour, the place where we come and hang out and talk about fishing 1 day a week, Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Tell your friends. We're at a whopping 658 subscribers. Yay! Today, we're going to focus on the setup and the prerequisites for fishing La Jolla, because we're going to go out eventually as a group, and I'm going to help launch you guys, and that's going to be the core of today's episode. We're not going to get distracted by random stuff, but before we start, let's start the show properly by saying what's up and shouting out the first comment of the day. We have a new comment of the day winner, Mr. Spinning Rod Rebel Marvin. Let's go! And we'll give the first like of the day to Jared Brack. What up, Jared? Thanks for doing that. Welcome back, Carl. What's up, Michael Lozano? Got Jared in here. I got Jared already. Got Salty Dangler in the house. Got Doug Ruben El Sueño in the house. Let's go. Dave Rage. What up, Dave? And is that all right? All right. That's quick. That's quick. Get quick through the shout outs. All right. I have some announcements for you guys before we jump in. But before we do the announcements, let's do some popping up the top. Breaking the seal. Popping the top. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best pop top you ever heard in your life, 1 being the worst, rate this pop top. Then I cut my nails. Cut my nails and it was hard to get a grip. Cheers. Welcome to the show. Oh, wow. All right. This is going to be a really focused show on kayak fishing La Jolla. If you have any questions or pointers of your own that you'd like to add to the conversation, please do so. Just put it in the chat. Ooh, 9.5. Let's go. Okay, so for announcements first, Brian isn't here today. He had to take care of some stuff after his vacation. But I want to remind you guys that the Pickle Run is on. Pickle Run is on. It's happening October 7th. October 7th. So reserve the date. Get your babysitter. Okay. Come out October 7th. We're going to go from Mission Bay, launching at Dana Landing, and we're going to kayak and fish our way all the way south until we get to San Diego Bay. Then we're going to come into the bay and land at Shelter Island. Okay? That is the plan. That's what we did last year. This will be the third year. So it's gonna be a blast. We're going to have Captain Dan out there supporting us on the support boat. I think the judge is also going to be available to support the group. So if you were curious, this is the time to do it, because there's nothing like the security of having a support boat in case something goes wrong. You know, it's nice to have that backup. What up, Captain Dan? Welcome, checking in from Washington D.C. What? Let's go. Getting my wisdom teeth out on the 6th. Damn. That sucks, Michael. Man. Yeah, that sucks. Well, yeah, we'll do it again next year for sure. But that's a plan for the Pickle Run. So save the date. Okay. Also, we have the judge is putting on an event in the WTF League. I think it stands for World Tag Team Fishing. World Tag Fishing. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong. What up, Leonard? Let's go. World Tag Team Fishing in San Diego Bay. this weekend. I think it starts at 6:30 a.m. and you guys are playing for the biggest trifecta. So you gotta get a spotted bay bass, a barred sand bass, and a calico. The biggest bag of those three fish wins the tournament. And for further details and to sign up and to get all the good information, reach out to the judge on one of our Discord servers. He uses the same username in all of our Discord servers. So if you just want to reach out to him, let him know that you're interested. He'll send you an invite to the WTF Discord group and take it from there. Okay? So that's how you sign up for the WTF League. Let's see. We have I know it's a lot of announcements. We have the Rancho Leonero trip coming up here soon. I'm not even sure if there's still spots left, but it doesn't hurt to call and check if you have availability. What up, Chet? Welcome. If you have availability and you want to go check out some really awesome fishing in Mexico, Brian, myself, Eric the Judge, and Eric Klein are going for sure. And then Captain Dan is going, and a lot of Captain Dan's friends from the scuba diving days are going to go. So we'll be pretty much taking over the whole place, make a bunch of new friends, fish, catch a lot of fish, have a lot of fun, eat a lot of food. It's going to be a blast. It's, I think it's, what up, Izzy, what's up? Let's go. Yeah, wow, Izzy, it's good to see you in here. It's good to see you in here, Izzy. Yeah, so it's going to be a fun trip. If you want more details on that trip or information on who to call to figure out if there's still spots available at the resort, you would jump onto our Discord server and you would go to, under MMFC events, there's a subcategory called Rancho Leonero. That's where you would go and you would look in there and you can see that the judge and myself, we put our flights in there. We're good to go. Our flights are set up and our rooms are booked. And now we're just going to get ready for fishing. If you're one of the people that's going on the trip, we're going to have a call with Captain Dan soon, just as a little bit of I guess a meeting of the people that are going. We'll probably do it on Discord, so you can ask questions as far as like what to take, what to set up, what setup to take, what to expect. Since Captain Dan has done this trip so many times, and unfortunately, this is the last year they're gonna have trips to Rancho Leonero. They're selling the facility, I think, to a developer, and they're gonna make maybe condos there. So, if you ever wanted to go to Rancho Leonero, this is the day. I mean, this is the trip. Okay. All right. With that said, what other announcements do we have? I think that's it. Oh, one more announcement. The reel for the Fish Hype website is still not, it has not been given away yet because we still haven't hit 200 subscribers. Here we go, let me get it for you guys. So Brother Sportfishing donated this reel, and we're gonna give it away once we hit 200 members on the Fish Hype website. I'll be doing a little bit more upkeep on the website now that we're done with Spotty Bowl. Let me show it to you guys real quick. I wonder if this will work. Hey, it worked. Let's go. Okay, so here's the website. When you sign up, you're gonna go to announcements, and you're gonna go to giveaway at 200 Fish Hype users. Okay, we have 47 replies. So 47 people have put their name into the hat, thrown their hat into the ring. So when we actually hit, let's see where we're at right now. So when we actually hit, okay, we're at 101 signups. Okay, when we hit 200 signups, we'll do the raffle for this reel. But the only people that get included on this raffle are the people that actually have gone in here and made a comment on this thread. If you sign up for the forum and don't make a comment on this thread, you won't be in the running. Okay. So make sure if you signed up, go into this thread and make a comment. Okay. That's how we know who's interested in the actual reel to be included in the raffle. Okay. There it is. To be included in the drawing, you must reply to this topic. Reply to this thread one time to be included in the drawing. Okay. All right. I think that's all I have as far as announcement goes. As far as announcements go. So with that, let's jump in to some La Jolla fishing. All right. Little palate cleanser here. Any questions on the announcement so far? Let me know in the chat. Otherwise, we're going to move on. How many of you, should we do a poll? How many of you have fished? Start a poll. Have you kayak fished La Jolla? All right. Just put a question in the comments. Just put a question in the poll. A poll out. Have you kayak fished La Jolla? I got a yes. Okay, we'll let that run for a little bit. The best way for me to teach what little I know, I like to do it in the form of videos, right? Because then once I teach it, you can go back and rewind it and rewatch it. What's up, Michael Tran? Michael, you should come down here for the pickle run, dude. October 7th. Pickle run, October 7th. All right. So it's like about 50-50. It's pretty good. Okay. So first order of business is a window share again. Boom. So here's my website, romancastro.com. And the reason I bring this website up is because I put together this cool little resource that I didn't realize a lot of people still use. But fishing resources. So you go to my website, romancastro.com. You go fishing resources and you type and you press this little highlighted thing that says La Jolla Fishing Dashboard. Okay. This is the weather app. This is the weather app. I think it broke, but what's important is these little charts. And on the left, I have an explanation of what these things mean. Okay. So before we consider going out to La Jolla, we have to learn how to see what the waves are doing to determine whether it's a good time to get out there or not. Okay. So we're going to go right into it. We're going to start with the first chart. Okay. Wave height for station 73. So it's a wave height for the waves that are coming into La Jolla. So if you're trying to short launch. I'm just going to read this to you real quick. The graph shows the predicted wave height in red and the average of the actual wave measured in blue. Okay. To get the max wave height, use the formula HS, so this function, times 1.86 equals the max wave height. So what does that mean? It means that, for example, here we're at about an HS of 1, close to 1, right? So you multiply that by 1.86, and it's going to give you like an actual wave height of about 2 feet. Okay. So when you see this here, and you're thinking, okay, it's just 2 feet. When you're sitting on your kayak, a 2-foot wave looks pretty big, and a 4-foot wave looks even bigger. So you take this number, like say you're thinking about going out today, you would consider this number and you multiply that by 1.86, and that gives you a wave height of about 4 feet, right? So don't be fooled by this chart. You gotta make sure you take this max wave height into consideration. Okay. So I have a little note here. It says less than 2 foot is good. So basically, most of the week is pretty good, but you want to ideally go in this day. That's when it's the lowest, right? Like you'll get like 2-foot waves there. Here at 2 feet, you're gonna get like 4-foot waves, right? So that's how you read this little chart, and it's important to consider that because you could see maybe it's a high surf day and it's showing 4 feet here, right? That could be closer to 8 feet when you show up. Okay. So remember, it's pretty much times 2. It's like pretty much times 2. Okay. So that's a good little thing to note if when you're planning. I didn't make it past the ways. Oh, when you're planning to go, and we're gonna cover how to launch and that stuff, guys. We're gonna watch a video that I made a long time ago, and we're gonna see if what I said there still counts, or if we need to revise it. Okay, so that's a wave height. Okay, that's one of the things we need to deal with when we're launching and landing. And the second thing we need to deal with is the period. Okay, the wave peak period. What the hell does that mean? Okay, it means the time between waves, the time between sets. Okay, so this one you want to go when the time between sets is higher. Okay, the time in seconds between wave peaks. The graph shows the predicted peak period in red and the actual in blue. More time means the waves are spread apart. More time means the waves are spread apart, and that's what you want. More than 10 seconds is good. So, like on these days where like you see the blue line way up here in 15 seconds, that's pretty cool. Because I don't know, the predicted is way off. Look at that, it's 10 seconds off. So the predicted is 5 seconds, right? If you're planning on going this day and you see this kind of stuff up here, then you're probably good to go, right? Because it's 15 seconds between like big sets of waves. But if it's predicted to be 5 seconds and it is 5 seconds in blue and it is a bigger wave than normal up here, then you're going to get pounded, right? That's when you're going to get the big waves and they're relentless. They just keep coming up, okay? So you want, again, you want this number to be low, the wave height, and you want the peak period to be high because that's going to give you more time to launch. You're going to launch, you're going to pound through that first wave. It's going to slow you down, and you have to keep pedaling like crazy and to build that momentum back up and get back and be able to hit the next wave before it crashes, right? That way you don't have to crash to the waves, because if you crash to 2 or 3 waves, you pretty much lose the momentum and you're going to get swept back into shore, okay? We'll talk about that a little bit more here coming up. So far, is everybody on the same page? Does everybody understand? If you have any questions, put in the chat. This is a perfect time to ask. Wave average period. Let's see. The average of the peak period. This moves out the chart. Okay. Yeah, so it's just a smoother chart of this, but it's still it doesn't take into account these big swings, right? It averages out this swing with the bottom, and then it gives you like a more smoother wave, a more smoother chart. Okay, so like I don't know if I would even go on this day, like on Thursday, but I'd probably go like on this day, like on Sunday would be kind of nice, because it's low waves and the time goes up to 10 seconds. That's pretty good. See, so 10 seconds is good. This would probably be a good day to go. And then you'd be fishing while the time period slows down. Well, the time period speeds up, and then when you go to land, you have more time to land between sets. That's also another thing to consider. What up, halibut man? I'm a fishing guide, and WFI, the fishing has been the best shore and dock fishing as I've seen in 5 years or more. Dang, dude, that's awesome. Time to go for that. Time to go try that 100 spotty in one day event again. Okay, so that's the basics, guys, of reading these charts and what they mean and when it's good to go. Okay, so bookmark this if you want. I'm gonna put it in the chat, and you can check it out whenever you need it. If you're trying to decide if it's a good day to go to La Jolla, that is how you would decide if it's a good day to go to La Jolla. Also consider the wind and of course like the weather. Okay, cool. Next thing that we need to keep track of is we need to make sure that we are fishing in the right places. Like there's this whole area in front of La Jolla Shores that's like a protected area, and so you need to be aware of the boundaries, right? if you're new to fishing here in La Jolla, you probably want to download this app called Fish Legal, and it kind of works with your GPS on your phone. It tells you if you're in a legal fishing zone or not. Okay, a lot of people haven't gone to La Jolla yet. That's awesome. Okay, that's good. All right, I'm gonna end this poll and see what the results are. Yeah, okay, a lot of people haven't gone. Very cool. All right, so this is good information for you guys. Okay, once we're past the protected zone here, you can fish all around here. Okay, this is like where the lifeguard tower is, pretty much. The new lifeguard tower. I wonder if I can zoom in. No, I can't. But you'll see the buoys. There's buoys right here, marking it. And just to be safe, just go past the point, and then you'll be good. You'll be able to fish all here, all in the kelp when there is kelp. And you probably won't end up this far south on your kayak, but who knows? But it's always better to have that app on your phone so you can know for sure. Okay. Also, most fish finders have these in there. Okay. Now you might be asking yourself, if this is a no fish zone, how can I get through there without getting in trouble? Well, there's an agreement with the city, or with the state, I guess, with the people running these reserves, that is okay to traverse through the protected area, but you cannot anchor. You cannot have any fishing related equipment in the water. You can have it on board in your kayak, but if it's touching the water, that's a violation. Okay. If you anchor, that's a violation. You can only basically traverse through it, and you can't troll while you're traversing through it. None of that. It's got to be no fishing, just traversing through. Okay. Once you make it through, you're good. Take out your rods, you can troll, do whatever you want. Okay. But no getting bait, nothing in the reserve. Okay. I know bait travels in and out of the reserve, but you cannot catch it when you're in the reserve. You have to catch it outside the reserve. Okay. And people are super strict with that. The lifeguards are watching for that all the time. So the lifeguard can set you, the Department of Fish and Wildlife can set you, and those are pretty big fines because it's in the reserve. Okay. So just be super careful. Better to err on the side of not fishing than fishing when it comes to this kind of stuff, especially if you're like on the line, really close to the boundary. Okay. Any questions so far? The fish finders are hard to read. The MPAs, you have to look to the dotted lines marking the boundaries, or get the app called Fish Legal for your phone. The app is better for staying out of the MPAs. Yep, I agree 100%, Salty. I agree. This is a screenshot from the app Fish Legal. It's a really cool app. It's free. Okay. All right. So in this same page where we have all these resources, we have an episode of Fishy Hour from 2020. Dude, that's crazy. That we did with Mr. Kevin Nakata, the La Jolla fishing master, Sea Samurai himself. We had him as a guest on the show, and this is the episode we recorded with Kevin. Highly recommended that you guys go check that episode out. As far as like equipment, setups, techniques, most of you guys know Kevin. He's like a treasure trove of fishing knowledge. So he doesn't hold back. He answers all my questions, and he gives really good information when it comes to kayak fishing. Okay, so this is for once you're on the water and you're actually fishing. Okay, this video I put together to give you an idea of what it's like to launch your kayak in the surf and how to do it safer. Because it's inherently this launch is not safe, right? Just be real. It's not safe. It's so easy to get tipped. It's so easy to lose that momentum. But we're gonna go through this video that I did a while back to see if my advice still holds. Okay, and let's see if you guys can hear the audio. I'm gonna play it real quick, and you guys tell me if you can hear the audio. Okay. So first off, she's taking her kayak in. When the wave hits her, she looks like she's about waist deep, a little bit under waist deep. So she's getting hit with a good amount of force at that point. And it's not really giving her a chance to jump on the kayak, which is what she should be doing. She should be jumping on the kayak and paddling, because you want to have momentum when you hit that first big wave. Okay, so I'm going to pause this real quick because it's jumping in kind of far. So we're going to go over the launch procedure I recommend, okay? First, you want to have all of your stuff tied to the kayak and if possible, all on one side. And I recommend, like, I have the PA, so I can put the rods in the grooves inside the hull. But if I didn't, I would still kind of lay them down on one side and untie all of your lures, okay? Or Salty has these cool things that it's like a plastic envelope that he wraps around the lure. That might be good too, because that'll prevent you from getting accidentally snagged. But if you don't have those, I would recommend, especially if it's your first time, don't have any lures tied. You can have the line on your rod just kind of going to like a little, like with a little loop to your hook keeper. But I recommend not having any lures. You want to have all that stuff on the side. Let's talk about I guess kayak setup. Okay, your kayak setup should be to where you have one side with all of your like your fish finder, your technology, your phone mounts, whatever you're gonna have, and you have one side that's always clear, right? And that's gonna be whatever side you feel more comfortable with when it comes to landing a fish. Okay. And when you start fighting a fish, you're gonna want to bring that fish to that side so you can land it, and everything is clear, nothing's in your way, nothing's gonna cut your line from your own gear, right? Okay. So first, we need to have. I would recommend bringing a fish tank. Sorry, not a fish tank, a bait tank. Bait tank. That's gonna help you make bait and fish live bait if you don't want to fish artificials, right? The other thing that I recommend, since we're doing La Jolla, is this is where you need that fish finder, that GPS with the sonar, right? Because it's gonna help you find little imperfections in the structure. It's gonna help you find little things to drop on, and you'll be able to see the fish kind of swim through when the schools of fish kind of come by. Okay, and you'll also be able to see bait, so you can drop your sabiki down there and get bait. Okay, so fish finder, bait tank. You also want to bring, of course, all your fishing gear, right? But you want to bring specifically a sabiki rig, so a setup that you can drop for bait, so you can make bait. Okay, for the sabiki setup, I recommend, if you've never fished with a sabiki before, you want to have a heavy weight on your sabiki. I would say like 6 to 8 ounces, and it sounds like a lot, but that's what's gonna keep your sabiki from getting tangled once the max or whatever bait you catch gets on the sabiki. They're gonna be swimming around like crazy, and if the weight holding down the sabiki is not heavy enough, they're gonna just make it into one knot, and you'll have the one use sabiki. Okay, so make sure you put a heavy weight on there. It sounds like counterintuitive because it's such a light lure, but the weight is not there to sink the sabiki down as much as it is there to keep the sabiki from getting tangled once all the fish are on there and swimming in circles. Okay. So you have that specialty thing that you wouldn't normally go out with. Bring your net and bring your gaff. Okay, your gaff should have a tennis ball or the little hook, the little spike safety thing on there, because you don't want to get stuck with that if you accidentally flip your kayak. Okay, all right. That's the basic gear, including your rods and lures and stuff. Okay. If you intend on keeping fish, which mostly you probably do, you should consider having either like a fish bag, one of those front fish bags, or figuring out at the beginning of the trip which one of your friends is going to hold your fish for you, right? And just be nice to them, and maybe get coordinated ahead of time, and you bring the ice, they bring the fish bag. That way, your fish, you got to respect the catch, right? If you're going to keep something, try to keep it on ice. Okay. So those are the basic things. Now that you have all the basic things, I'm not counting like PFD and all that stuff. All that stuff I consider just like standard. You should have that anyway. Okay. PFD and all that good stuff. You're going to need a radio. Okay. I know it sounds wild. Why would I need a radio? I'm right there. I can see most of the people that I'm fishing with, but you never know when the fog is going to come in, and you're not going to have any visibility, right? And you might just lose track of your friends, right? Or you might or your GPS might run out of batteries, and you have your phone. Sorry, you have your phone, yeah, or your radio to be able to communicate with your friends to figure out which way is shore. Okay, if you don't have one already, you should probably get a analog compass, just like a little globe. That'll help you orient yourself. If all else fails, your GPS dies, your phone dies, and maybe your radio doesn't have a GPS part of it, then you at least have the analog thing. You know that all you gotta do is head east to go towards the shore, right? Because you'd be surprised how fast that fog bank comes in, and it could be dangerous, especially if you lose track of where shore is. Okay, but that's gonna help keep you safe. Okay, I know we're talking about this in the context of us going as a group, but if you decide to go do this on your own, I would highly recommend against that, and I would say that you should at least go with one other person. That way you guys can buddy up, and at least there's someone there to help you if something happens, right? So don't go by yourself. That's tip number. That's one of the tips. Just random. Okay. So we have all our gear. We have all of the everything set up. Now, here's where we talk about what stuff do you want to keep in case your kayak flips over. If it flips over on launch, on landing, while you're out there fishing, for whatever reason your kayak flips over, whatever you don't want to lose should be tethered to your kayak, or should have something on it to make it float. Okay, either a little piece of foam in a place where it doesn't affect its use, but it'll float. So those are like the things that you would do ahead of time just to prepare. Okay. While I was saying that, I thought about something else, but I kind of lost it. Let me see if I can remember. Oh man, can't believe I lost that one. Landing in fog is horrible. Yeah. Nice.
And if you...
Oops. Okay. So now here's what I recommend for launching. Now it's the morning of, okay? The way La Jolla works, there's a beach launch, which means you're allowed to drive your car or truck onto the sand. There's a little roundabout in the sand. Just make sure that you have I've seen people do it with 2-wheel drive. But just try not to get stuck. Don't go into the super soft sand. Okay. The morning of, you show up, you drive around the little cul-de-sac thing onto the sand right next to the beach. You pull your kayak off your car or truck. You set it down in the sand, and you pack everything else that you don't need into your car, and then you go find parking wherever you can, and you walk back to your kayak. Most of the time, nobody messes with your kayak. Usually, other kayakers will keep track of your stuff, or we'll be in a big group, so we'll be able to watch each other's stuff while other people park. And then we get ready for the launch. Okay. What I want you to think about during the launch is, how much space do I need below my kayak for my pedals to work? Okay. And it's usually think about how far the pedals hang out from the kayak in the bottom. Maybe like about 1.5 feet, maybe tops. So you want at least 1.5 feet of water, maybe 2 feet of water, before you jump on your kayak and start pedaling. Otherwise, you're gonna jump in, and your pedals could break if it's too shallow. Right? They won't work. Or you'll have to just do like half pedals to keep your pedals against the hull. Right? But the best place to do it is with your pedals in about 2 feet of water. Okay, and then you wanna watch the waves coming in. You'll be in the water already, and you want to hold your kayak so that when a wave hits you, you want to kind of pull your kayak over it and push it, and then jump in as soon as that wave passes you, because that's what's going to give you the most time until the next wave hits. And you want to kind of pull that kayak into the wave as it's crashing next to you, so that you have a little bit of momentum against the momentum that the wave's going to put on your kayak when you first get in. Okay. As soon as you jump in, Okay, coach, perfect. As soon as you jump
Walk
in,
the kayak.
you're gonna pedal your heart out as hard as you can. Oh, another thing that I forgot to mention is you should have a. I like to take a dry bag with all my electronic stuff, and I also take a dry bag with my clothes. I change clothes before I launched into like some board shorts or whatever because I know I'm gonna get wet. And then once I get out past the waves, I'll change back into my fishing clothes, and then I'll have that clothes for when I land as well. Okay, just another little tip. Okay, so let's watch this video, and you guys can see what's going on, and we'll talk about that. Let's see. All right, I'm talking in the background. I might mute myself, and oh, that's how it goes.
Back in there and then get on, then you're starting from a complete stop. So it's difficult to gain momentum to overcome the momentum of the wave hitting you.
See right there, the wave is pushing that kayak
Also, she
back.
entered the water right where the waves were breaking. So she came back out, offered some advice for her to go a little bit more south. So she's not right in the middle of the break zone. She's a little bit to the side of the break zone where the waves are a little bit more tame. And that combined with getting on her kayak earlier, she was able to get out successfully on her next attempt. Okay, now let's move on to our second launch. This is Gabe.
That looks so skinny.
He is at Plastic Ponga on Instagram. Go say what's up. So he's gonna walk his kayak into the surf.
Oh, that's another thing, guys. You don't want to have your kayak between you and the wave, because if it's a strong enough wave, that's gonna push that kayak on top of you. It's gonna crush you. Okay, so keep it next to you, and you don't ever want to be between. You don't ever want the kayak between you and the wave. You want to be between the wave and the kayak. Okay, so you want to be up wave from the kayak.
But notice how he gets on his kayak pretty much as soon as it's floating. Right? So look, he's paddling through these small breakers, right? But he has that forward momentum. He's already building that momentum. See right there?
But then he stopped a little bit.
He's got that forward momentum. He's paddling, he made it over that wave just fine, and he's got that forward momentum. You can see. When the wave hits him, it's going to stop most of that forward momentum, and he's got to, see how it pushed him back even. But if
see how right there he put his kayak, he's put his paddle up as the wave was hitting him, and it kind of knocked him off balance a little bit. You want to just keep paddling through that. Keep paddling. Don't stop paddling the whole time, because that's what's going to get you through the wave and lose you less momentum. Okay, the issue happens when you lose momentum and you're stuck in one spot and the next wave hits you right in the spot. Okay.
If he had zero momentum, it would have taken him with him. So he's got to keep paddling. He's got to paddle as hard as he can so he can get back to perpendicular. He wants to hit the wave like a T. He wants to get back to perpendicular and build that momentum up. So by the time the next wave hits,
keep paddling right there.
It doesn't push him back as far, right? It pushed him back a little bit, but he's still going to be able to make up that ground because he's still paddling, right?
You can see how
if you
much
stop
is not
paddling
moving, right?
to reassess like what got knocked off your kayak, or just to appreciate the impact, the power of the wave, you're going to get smashed on the next wave. So here he makes it out, and he's in the safe zone, right? So let's talk about that for a second. So I was kind of explaining it as it was happening, but just to make sure you understand what's happening here. Gabe, ankle to knee deep in water, just enough that the kayak is floating. I can see the sand when I look over the side. My paddle might even be hitting the sand at this point. I want to build as much momentum as possible before I hit the first big wave. Going over the first couple of foamers, here comes the first significant wave. It's not so bad. I'm still kind of gaining on it. This is a kind of significant one. There it goes. I'm still kind of going to have forward momentum. See how the waves are breaking kind of like on the sides of me, and that centerpiece is not so bad. Here's a big wave. Here comes a big wave. This one goes completely over the front, all the way to my chest. But I keep paddling, okay? You gotta keep paddling because the next wave is coming up. And even though it went completely over my bow and hit me like in the chest, it didn't push me back as much as it would have if I wasn't paddling the whole way, right? Make it past the second wave, and I'm paddling, and there you go. I'm past the surf. That is, again, I watched the surf, I watched other people launch, and then I figured here's the best way that I can think of doing it for this situation. So I'm sure it changes when the waves are a lot bigger. You have to be more aware of where the waves are breaking and where you could kind of come in.
All right. So go now. That's awesome. All right, Coach. I see you, Coach. What up? We'll get you in here in the next 3 minutes. But so that's the initial launch process, right? Once you're out there in the safe zone, you take the time to assess what fell off or whatever. But when you're in the wave, that first wave hits you, naturally you're going to end up in the spot where the next wave is going to crash. So the only thing on your mind at that point is going to be to straighten out the bow and paddle like crazy so that you can get past the peak of the next wave so it doesn't hit you with full force. And then once you get past that peak, you keep pumping until the next one. Then next thing you know, the wave's gonna start forming under you, and it's gonna be past you, and you'll be in the safe zone. Okay. What we'll do when we launch as a group, I'm gonna be in the water, and I'm gonna get you guys in your kayak in about waist deep water. Have your pedal drive in, have your paddle out if you want to paddle and kick, and then basically once you're not gonna lose that momentum because I'll be behind you, and I'm gonna push your kayak past the first foamers, and just tell you to paddle like crazy, and you're gonna keep paddling like crazy until you get past the next two big waves, and we should be good to go. You'll do fine. I don't know if in this video we have a section where, yeah, Oscar, let's go. A section where I talk about the landing. Oh, yeah, we do talk about the landing. The landing is so nerve-wracking, guys. I don't lose sleep over it, but like when I'm out there fishing, having a good time, I'm always thinking in the back of my head, damn it, I still need to go land. I still need to do the landing. What sucks about the landing is that you might get wet, right? You might get bonked by your gear, or you might get snagged in one of your lures. So what do? We plan ahead and take care of all those potential problems before they can happen first. Yeah, you're going to get wet. No big deal. So bring an extra change of clothes, the same change of clothes that you used to launch. You're going to change back into that before you get into the surf, right? Then you're going to take your lures and you're going to put them all away, right? So there's no crazy hooks hanging out anywhere. You're going to make sure you have the safety cap on your gaff or your tennis ball on your gaff. You're going to make sure everything is tied down. You're going to make sure all your rods are flat on the deck or in the hull. And that's going to make it to where if your kayak flips, yeah, your stuff will get wet, but it won't break, right? There's no leverage against anything because it's all flat. Okay? And then the other thing is when you feel it's almost more dangerous to try to ride the kayak in for the last section than it is to just jump out when you're waist deep and just hang on to the back of the kayak and just kind of push it in. You know, like guide it in. Always with the kayak always with you between the kayak and the wave behind you. Okay. You don't ever want the kayak to be between you and the wave. That's how you get hurt. Okay. That thing's going to come at you with full force and there's nothing you can do about it. It's just gonna be like a freight train. And that's how you get really injured. Okay. So make sure this is like the one thing you should always remember is kayak in front of you, wave behind you. Kayak and wave, you're the sandwich. Okay, you're the meat of the sandwich. Okay, let's watch this video real quick on the landing I did, and let's see what I'm talking about. See if I even know what I'm talking about over here.
Okay, so with the information I learned by watching these other guys launch, I was able to get out successfully. In a second. I put my dry clothes in the hatch, and I'm wearing just board shorts now, so I can try to land this kayak without getting rolled. If I feel like I'm gonna get rolled, I'm gonna just jump out. But it looks pretty calm, so it should be okay. So I'm on the kayak. I feel the momentum of the little wave start to pick up. You see the kayak start to tilt. So I jump the opposite way and hang onto the kayak. I missed the floor a little bit. I thought it was a little bit more shallow, so I kind of dipped forward a little bit, but it was okay because I was holding onto the kayak. And then basically at that point, both of your feet are on the sand, the kayak is in front of you, You're facing the beach. The waves are crashing behind you.
Never underestimate nature, people.
On this day, the surf.
That was wild. Yeah, I remember that day now. That's cool. Cool. So it doesn't have to be a violent landing if you just plan a little bit ahead and you're ready for what could happen, right? You could fall in, so you already have the right clothes. You're not even nervous about it. It's gonna feel great to jump in the water, get cooled off. Okay, you won't have to worry about getting tipped over by a wave because you can just bail. And when you bail, I just saw the point I made there. When you bail, you gotta bail towards the wave. All right, don't bail in front of your kayak because you're gonna get rolled on. Okay, bail behind your kayak. I misestimated the wave last time out, but was able to jump out just as my kayak was about to turn in the wave. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, when you jump out, you want to jump out on the wave side of the kayak. Okay, I know it's hard if it's tipping you this way, but you want to jump out that way because otherwise the kayak's gonna land on you. Okay, and just bail. Okay, just bail if you have to. But I hope that helps, guys. Give you guys a little bit of motivation to come out with us to La Jolla. And again, it'll be easier for you guys because we'll be out there trying to push you guys into the surf. Again, I'm going to put the link to that resource here real quick in the chat, and then we're going to get Coach in here for the San Diego Fishing Report. Okay, there's that link. Go in there and watch. You can watch that video yourself if you... Oops, where'd it go? There we go. You can watch this video yourself, the one that we just watched. And also I recommend watching this old episode of Fishy Hour with Kevin. It's got really good information on there. And again, there's no reason why you can't ask questions before that. Feel free to ask questions in the Discord or during one of our other shows. We're here to help, okay? Jared, we haven't decided when we're going yet. We'll probably figure it out this week. And then put the date out there and see if it works for most of us. And then we'll make our way out there. It's going to be fun. Okay? It's going to be a fun time. All right, Coach, let me get this Skype set up. And see if we can get the coach in here. Go back to main. I always mistime the depth and jump in too early. I always think, oh, it's waist height, and it's like boom, all the way to my neck, or like on that one, I'll mistime it and think my feet are gonna hit the ground, but they don't hit the ground yet because it's deeper, and it's like. But worst case, if you jump in too early and you don't touch bottom, just hang onto your kayak and extend it out like Superman. And just watch the wave behind you kind of push it out. Use it as a float. You know, the wave, the next wave will catch it. You kind of surf it in, but you're holding onto the back and you're kind of swimming in with it. So that's what I would do. All right, Coach, I'm giving you a call. Call me when you're ready. Sorry, Coach. That's pretty wild. All right, any questions, guys? Put it in the chat. Sup, everyone? Really late tonight. Judge, did you get the link to the photos? Ooh, don't forget to deploy. Yep, don't forget to deploy your rudder. Very common mistake I make every time. That's a great point, Salty. Salty's referring to when you launch and you start pedaling. If you don't have your rudder deployed, sometimes you don't notice you don't have your rudder deployed until you hit that first wave and it knocks you like off tilt a little bit. And you're trying to get straightened out and you realize your rudder isn't down. And next thing you know, the next wave is already crashing into you. So yeah, that's a great point. Make sure you have your rudder down, have your drive in place if you're going to use your drive, and then be ready to launch. I kind of recommend doing the drive and the paddle because in order for the rudder to work, you have to have some forward momentum on this kayak for the rudder to catch, right? But when you have the paddles, you can, doesn't matter if you have forward momentum or not, the paddle is going to turn your kayak, right? So it helps you turn a little bit quicker to get back into the perpendicular with the wave. Oh my God, look at that. Jeez. Little jiu-jitsu action right there. All right, Coach. I'm going to try one more time. I'm calling Coach real quick. That's all right. All right. Yeah, I think I missed Coach. Sorry, Coach. He was on here earlier too. All right. Well, I guess we'll owe you a San Diego fishing report. We'll owe you one San Diego fishing report, guys. But I'm gonna wrap up the show for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Fishy Hour. Brian will be back with us next Wednesday. And until then, stay tuned. Make sure you guys, if you have any questions, any follow-up questions about this launch, hit me up in Discord or just post in the general. Be fine. There's a lot of people there that can answer all of your questions. And if you haven't signed up for Fish Hype yet, go sign up for Fish Hype, guys. We're gonna see if we can make that site work. Oh, there he is. Ooh. Right in the nick of time. What up, Coach?
What's good, Roman? What's good?
Let me get you in here real quick. Coming in live from Warp Studio TV, it's Coach from Warp TV. Let's see. I have my special Coach split screen. There it is. All right. You're in. How's it going?
All right.
Sorry for the delay there.
No, it's all right. It's all right. Let me, we got quite a bit to discuss, so let me just dive in, if you would.
Go for it. We're going to run to the screen share?
Yep. We're
Okay,
going
there
to
we
get
go.
right in.
In it.
All right, Roman. So our tides this week, it's looking, well, not really ideal for what I do, but better than it has been. So we will see if this holds up. So if you were launching from La Jolla, and I wouldn't recommend it at the moment, and I'll show you why.
Yeah.
You're far better with a morning launch than an afternoon, like you typically are in La Jolla. But just watch these incoming highs, because you got 5-foot swings in the afternoon, and we got some storms laying on talking about. So just watch out for these 4 and 5 foot tides, especially if you're doing beach launches or anything like that. But even if you're surf fishing, make sure you got plenty of real estate to stand on, all that good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing worse than running out of real estate. So you look at this and you think, hey, this doesn't look too bad. 5 to 10 knots, 1 to 2 feet, whatever. But starting Saturday, you'll see things like a chance of showers and thunderstorms.
Uh-oh.
See, it's slight on Saturday. Saturday, it says a chance. Then it says showers and thunderstorms likely. Later on, we're looking at wind gusts as high as 20 knots.
Jeez.
Yeah, we've got some serious fun and excitement headed our way, and we'll talk about that. We'll touch on it for a minute. But let's look at some dock totals here. I heard tuna fishing was really good yesterday. Today it was a little rough. You had to work for them. I imagine that trend is going to continue into the weekend, although I don't know that. I did talk to a guy earlier today who said that Dorado are off the immediate San Diego coast, but most of them aren't feeding yet.
Ooh, okay.
And we will. Okay, so let's get into our dock totals here.
Well, let me hit this real quick.
Get ready. Here comes this week's San Diego Fishing Report.
All right. So as you can tell, tuna fishing's been real consistent. I mean, not like crazy wide open or anything, but tuna fishing's been real consistent. anytime you see the numbers of bluefin tuna equaling the numbers of anglers, you figure that's probably including all the half-day boats and everything. So the guys out working tuna are doing real good, and they better stay on it because this weather we have coming, according to at least some of the projections, is absolutely no joke. Still catching some sand bass, calicos, etc. up north. As you'll notice, there's a few bluefin tuna that are in the counts from the Orange County and LA boats the last week or so. I'm hoping that'll continue. I don't see any guarantees of that happening. So let's go to tent break. And remember, it's been pretty cloudy, so there's not that much of an SST. The only one they have is for 8 days. But you can see that 72, 73, 74 degree water laying on the beach. I don't know what this coming storm is going to do to that. It might push a lot of warm water from the south, or it could cause an upwelling and cool all this and drive everything back offshore. But I saw this in the SST, and I did want to bring it up, even though we don't have a real current one. And let's switch to the big one here, Roman. All right. Nice. So you can see our El Nino down here.
Ooh.
Okay, there's our El Nino. And this bad boy is going to be spinning off big chunks of warm water that are going to peel off to the north, like this one laying right off the tip of Baja right here.
Yeah.
And there's another one, looks like a few weeks behind it right here. Right off the southern end of Central America.
That's wild.
So as these wads of warm water push up, they're going to break this connection that the cool water has with the shoreline.
That little trapped section of cold water right there. It's crazy.
Well, it has to flow somewhere.
Yeah.
You can only push so hard on an object before it pushes back. So a lot of times, if you get a lot of warm water moving, sometimes the cold water will move pretty hard too. So we'll get a little different view at the more near shore, the more near to us. You can see that arrow that usually points kind of a little farther north. It's getting pulled south right now. It's because of all the fun and excitement that's parked down here right now. To highlight this, we're going to go to our 7-day forecast, even though this doesn't really give us the full deal. And then we'll end with a little image search I did real quick. So I don't know, I kind of picked a random spot not too far from where I'm at. And if you look, Saturday, slight chance of showers and thunderstorms. Saturday night, a chance. Sunday, showers likely. Monday, showers likely, possible thunderstorms. One of the most terrifying things that you can do as a kayaker is have an unexpected experience with a thunderstorm. I used to just kind of go with no regard for conditions. I did this a lot. And I got caught a quarter mile from the jetties in a dense fog bank during a thunderstorm.
Oh my gosh. And
it was raining, but not where I was. So I couldn't really see anything. But I could hear the lightning.
Oh, dude.
And at night, it's extra loud. And it was.
Did I lose you? Oh, I lost him. It's reconnecting. You're back.
Am I still here, Roman?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay. Yeah, so I got caught west of the jetties once in a fog bank with a fast approaching lightning storm. And it was, it was terrifying. So, if you're out there on the water and you start seeing conditions building, I don't care if the yellowtail are jumping into your kayak. It's time to go. All right. And I'm going to finish up with a little image search I did. So this is the fun and excitement we have coming to us. You'll see this image all over the place. This one here and this one here. Everybody's using the same models to predict stuff.
What is that? Is that like a hurricane?
That is the leftover of Hurricane Hillary right there.
What?
And she is going to plow into Southern California in a manner we may not ever see again in our lifetimes, and certainly hasn't happened since before we were born, Rome.
What? Okay.
This is going to start Saturday afternoon, evening sometime, and they're predicting this to blow all the way into Tuesday.
Oh, wow.
In some of these areas, they're predicting 6 to 9 inches of rain. That's as much rain as we get in a year most years, 9 inches. So we're going to be getting that over the course of 2 days.
Flash flooding, mudslides. Washouts.
Yep, they're mudslides, washouts. This is AccuWeather, courtesy of the Orange County Register. But if you just do an image search in Google, that's all this is.
Yeah.
So we have some serious weather coming. And Roman, can I just talk to our community for just a minute?
Sure. Want to go? Let's see. Go back into the. Yeah, and the screen share.
Yeah. Let me go here. There we go.
There you go.
So I want to encourage everybody in our community, if there was ever a weekend to go visit Costco or Smart and Final or something, pick up a couple cases of water just in case.
Oh, it's like that?
I mean, you're talking our annual rainfall in the course of 2 days is what some models are predicting. That $20-$30 you spend plus filling up the 5-gallon buckets outside your house, or a couple of those big tubs or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that $30-$40 in canned food and a couple cases of
Holy.
water and a few Rubbermaid tubs full of hose water, or even rainwater off your roof. Park a barrel under there or something.
Yep.
That could be the kind of thing that could save our lives. I mean, I'd rather be a little bit alarmist than go into this and have the models be wrong and have it be 12 inches in 5 hours and lose infrastructure and power. I'm not hoping for all that. And I'm not saying this is the apocalypse, but this might be a time
Oh my God.
that this might be the time to just get yourself a little more prepared than you usually would be.
Check yourself, dude. Oh my gosh.
So, I mean, I'm not putting on a tinfoil hat and telling you to buy AR lowers in bulk or something like that. But a couple cases of water, a few extra cans of food. Maybe, have some fun.
Families.
Have some fun with the kids making some beef jerky in your oven if you want.
Right.
If you want to go nuts.
Get all those party games because we won't be able to go outside for a little bit. Anyway, that's
So, I mean, I just want to encourage our community. If there was ever a time to spend $20 or $30, this could be it.
That's awesome. Very cool. There you go, guys. A little planning ahead has been a theme of the show so far, I guess. So, with that, let's wrap it up with a little
Wisdom of the week.
All right, Roman. So, sticking with our planning ahead theme, just taking a look at conditions or just being adaptable and realizing there might be a better day for your plans than this. It can really save your life, not only on the water, but even at your house or out on the street or wherever. This isn't, we've seen rain in Southern California before, and it's been a wet year and everything. But it's one of those moments where you might just take a minute and be like, you know what, I'll grab an extra case of water and a couple cans of corn or whatever, a little package of whatever, some dried beans or something. Just take the extra step, spend a few bucks, and I'm not saying prevent some wild tragedy from happening, but just to be more prepared so that you're in a better condition, just in case things like the power grid fails for any sort of time longer than 3 minutes to make everybody in Southern California panic.
freak out. Yeah.
So I me, Roman. I got a whole drum of charcoal in my yard.
I know. That's good. I have some charcoal too, so I'll probably just make some hot dogs.
There you go. Make some hot dogs. Take all that meat out of the freezer that you never got around to.
Yeah.
Start up the slow fire and smoke it all or whatever.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, I'm just saying it's being a little bit prepared, being aware of your current conditions surrounding. It doesn't matter if you're on a kayak or if you're fishing catfish in the desert. Just looking around and seeing what the conditions are like can spare you a lot of hassle and difficulty for sure.
That makes sense. Very cool. Have you been putting out content?
I have.
Awesome. All right, guys. Make sure you guys go check out Worth TV on YouTube.
And I'm also on Twitter and TikTok.
What's your Twitter handle?
I think it's at TV Worth. But if you just Google #WorthTV, you'll find me across all platforms.
Perfect. I spent the last week 140 restocking some of my disaster supplies. Got a ways to go. Oh, there you go, Marvin. Very nice. Yeah, thanks, Leonard, for putting that link for Worth TV in the chat. Awesome, Coach. Thanks so much for tuning in, for helping us make this show even better. We'll take Coach out with a round of applause from the live studio audience. There, Coach.
Peace,
Thanks.
Roman.
And with that is the wrap. If you guys enjoyed this episode of Fishy Hour, episode number, I don't know. Shout out to Captain Dan, Leonard. Did I say Carl there today? Dave Rage, Arnie in the house, Michael Tran, Jared Brecht, Oscar 636, R. Oscar here in San Diego, Dave Rage ready, Salty Dangler, Halibut Man, Spotty at Bam. What up, Alex? Thanks for tuning in today. Let's see. Oh, there's Eric the Judge, leaving in the house. What up, Eric? Shout out to Jeff over at One Cold Tuna, !OCT. Get your line labels at the One Cold Tuna store. I got Captain Dangler, I got Salty Dangler, I got Doug Ruben, was running in the house. Michael Solorzano. Of course, man, the myth, the legend, Carl. Let's go, Carl! Thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you guys have any more questions about the La Jolla launch, La Jolla setups, please do ask it in the questions for Fishy Hour, or ask it in Discord, or hit me up on Instagram at Roman Castro, and I will do my best to help you out. If I get enough questions, I'll just maybe pop out another video, an update video on the La Jolla launch situation. But it should be good. By the time we go as a group, you guys will be in the know and put that knowledge to practice when we jump out and go fish. Maybe after this hurricane remnants goes through, we'll go out there and fish it up. Alright, boys. I'll make sure you have a good night. I'll see you guys next Wednesday, 7